I gotta do something. I'm stuck in the head, in a rut like it hasn't been dug enough yet. There's so much to be said, all my stuff bottlenecks. Then the message gets lost or just doesn't connect. It's a frustrating guess who to be on the screen, who to let people see when those people critique. Introductions are hard, what to leave, what to keep. Don't forget at the back, got those PLUGs. It's not easy for me, but I put in a lot. Every word, every plot is as good as I got. What I'm working on now really pushes the thought, but it should, 'cause what else is it pushing if not? Hope I hooked you. The shot was a sonnet of types. If you dug it, please follow me, comment, and like. Hello, welcome to my author vlog. My name is Sean, and I'm writing a romance novel that does something a little bit different than most. I'm putting rap in it. Now, I couldn't figure out how to start this vlog, so I thought I'd just keep it simple and read what I have posted. If you'd like to go check it out, all the links are below. You can also look at the rest of my author platform or follow along if you'd like. I will try to keep the commentary out of it. The novel's called A Summer with Aliyah by E.J. Sean. Sean's my real name. E.J. is just my other initials shuffled about. The genre, like I said, is a romance, but more specifically, it's called a celebrity romance. And here's the elevator pitch. When one of Hollywood's hottest stars hits a professional rut, she connects with an unlikely fan who offers a personal touch. Rap. Here's the back cover blurb. Every celebrity spirals differently. After losing 3 jobs, breaking up with her boyfriend, and cutting her hair short, actress Aliyah Gavins finds herself shaken for the first time in her career. She's rich, she's famous, and she's out of work. Cue her busy season. With friends and family relying on her success, she can't afford to slip, not even a day. Social media can't get enough. Her dating life blows up blogs and gossip columns. The paparazzi never miss a boyfriend. Or a breakup. Her manager wants her dating for exposure. The higher the status, the better. Aliyah doesn't really agree. The athletes are fun. The actors are drama. Her circle turns inside out when she starts seeing a fan. He's a pretty good rapper, but compared to her usual guys, he's a nobody. He doesn't even have a demo tape. What's his angle? What's hers? Between her fame and his friends, the NDA doesn't last long. Work needs to come first, however, a job may be closer than anybody thinks. Can Aliyah handle the criticism of dating a fan? Can her fan handle the attention of dating her? One thing's for certain, they're both in for a summer unlike any. Chapter 1. Sitting in the break room, Kelvin teetered on the back 2 legs of his chair. He scrolled through his phone with one hand while his other hand held the table for balance. His feet kicked under him freely. The chair wobbled because of it. Kelvin never kept completely still. He was a skinny kid, an inch taller than average. His bony body moved well in tight spaces. He fit in corners like a coat rack. He didn't mind corners, unless he was pushed into one. With his long arms, he had a mean right hook. His nose was a little crooked from a right hook he caught a couple years ago. The tip healed with a dent. He grew his hair shaggy to draw attention away. Nobody really looked at him twice. His mouth was what got him in trouble. He tossed his bangs aside as he continued on his phone. His chair wobbled again. The break room smelled of fresh coffee and all-purpose cleaner. The tables shined from their recent wipe-down. Natural light poured in from one side of the room. The windows ran floor to ceiling like stripes in the wall. Tall potted plants stood in the gaps between. One plant stood right behind Kelvin's chair. The coffee machine just finished brewing the morning blend. A few co-workers gathered in the kitchen area to enjoy a cup. The office gossip followed one employee passing their certification test while hungover. People laughed, drably. Everybody was older than Kelvin. At 19, he was the youngest in the office. He interned for a mid-size accounting firm near Hollywood. It was only a summer position. The job included things like cleaning the break room, watering the plants, picking up the parking lot. Still teetering, Kelvin checked his phone for the time. It was 10:15. Break was over. He double-checked the clock on the wall. It ran fast. Before he put his phone away, a notification appeared on his screen. It popped up without making a sound. Personal devices weren't allowed to ring, chirp, or buzz in the office. It was company policy. He was lucky he was looking. "We got another one," the post read. He brought his phone closer to read it. It was posted by his favorite actress. His chair wobbled again. "It's a go. Today at 4:45 behind the old Hotel in Namur, I'll be signing autographs and taking pictures for anyone who can make it. We got about 10 minutes this time. Amazing shopping up and down the block, too. Hope to see you out. Always, Lee. Kelvin stared at the post a moment. His eyes darted between the time and the place. He recognized the hotel. It was close to his work. How close, he didn't remember. He worked until 5, so no matter what, if he wanted to go, he would have to ask off early. The question was, how much early? In his excitement, he took his hand off the table. His chair then wobbled for the last time. He was leaning too far back. He realized it too late. He kicked for balance, but the chair toppled anyway. The back slammed against the floor with an impressive clank. His head almost struck the wall. The whole break room looked. The plant in the corner toppled after. He bumped it on his way down. It fell beside him in a rustle of leaves and spilled soil. Kelvin scrambled to his feet as fast as he could. He adjusted his shirt, fixed his hair. About half of his co-workers were staring. The far corners seemed bare without the plant. Kelvin chuckled, pointing to the dirt. "I'll clean that." Nobody laughed. He ended up turning red and rubbing the back of his head. Everybody eventually returned to what they were doing. Break was over for some. Others came in for more coffee. Kelvin dropped to one knee once the focus was off him. He finished his search while knelt beside the chair. The hotel was 20 minutes away. With traffic and parking, he figured he needed to leave by 4. That seemed doable. If he skipped lunch and worked through his last break, he bet he could shave off an hour. The only thing would be getting permission from his boss, who was also his dad's buddy. Unfortunately. There's a POV switch here to the female lead. At the Hotel Enamour, a dazzle of Hollywood types filled the ballroom. Actors and actresses mingled with wealthy benefactors and potential investors. The benefit drew a rich crowd every year. Several agencies were in attendance. Guests browsed dozens of tables with offers laid across them. Packages ranged from set tours to background appearances to celebrity lunch dates. The bidding took place on both electronic tablets and paper sheets. Beautiful floral arrangements centered the displays. Servers in suit and tie zipped around to cater the event. Glasses clinked. People laughed. It was loud for a silent auction. Actress Aliyah Gavins liked the glitz and the glamour, but preferred to stay out of the noise. She stood alone by her agency's table and kept a watchful eye on the casting directors. She needed a job. She only came that afternoon with the intentions of networking. She was filling in for a friend, another actress at the agency. Aliyah wasn't actually in any of the offers. Not that year. A few guys asked about it. She brushed it off. They still tried to bid on her. Aliyah never shied away from dating. Work just came first. With a job, she focused on the part. Without, she looked for the next. Boyfriends came and went between. Nobody lasted long, and she moved on fast. Her fans loved her for it. Breakups made as much noise as new flings. Sometimes guys tried to take advantage of her status. Sometimes she took advantage of theirs. At her level, everybody had an angle. Hollywood's hot, rich, and single, a recent headline read. An article circulated last week that ranked Aliyah 7th on their top 25 under 25. A few guys recognized her from it. She had barely broken up with her ex when the article came out. She was single on Saturday, the world knew on Sunday. The paparazzi moved quickly. 24 and gorgeous, her segment read. We love her for her movies, we love her for her style, and we love her for her curly hair. The effortlessly elegant Aliyah Gavins knows a thing or two about looking good. Whether it's her killer wardrobe or her strict gym schedule, this short, stacked powerhouse is always ready for her next action adventure. Called the Queen of Curls, she's not afraid of a little frizz. Don't let that cute fro fool you. We love the new look, by the way. Absolutely fabulous. She's tough, she's talented, and she's intimidating. If her wit doesn't cut you down, her jawline will. No wonder that face is in movies. Love her or hate her, she's not going anywhere anytime soon. 7th on our list of Hollywood's hot, rich, and single, Aliyah Gavins. Her manager thought it was a bit much. Across the ballroom, a trim man in a tight suit noticed Aliyah standing alone. She seemed bored. He sipped his drink while he watched her through the crowd. His cufflinks glinted in the light. The end pieces resembled tiny boom boxes. He wore a gold watch on one wrist and sported a matching gold bracelet on the other. The chain around his neck completed the three-piece set. The outfit was from the night before. A party ran late. He cleaned up for the event, but hadn't been back to his place yet. When he approached Aliyah, he took the long way around the room. A server crossed behind him with a tray of empty glasses. A second server crossed in front with a tray of full ones. He switched his drink for another as they passed. Guests shuffled in and out of his way. He moved through the crowd with experience. Aliyah didn't notice him until he was at her table. He circled her from behind first. The dress she had on flattered her back like it did her front. It showed off her legs, left her shoulders bare. The material shimmered. Fashion Week made the dress popular that season. He'd seen it at work a few times. In his opinion, it fit her best. Aliyah watched the handsome stranger with a curious eye. He started at the far end of the table and crept inward without a hint of interest for anything. He swiped through the offers on the tablets. He flipped through the paper sheets. "It's Aliyah Gavins, right?" he asked, sipping his drink after. His voice was raspy like a smoker's. "The movie star? I think I've seen you at my club." She popped her brow and forced a smile. "Your club, huh? Which one's that? Deluxe? You were there last week, right? Bigger group? Balcony seat? I think you got loud and we almost threw you out." She squinted at him funny, then sputtered her lips. "Yeah, right. No, you didn't. We ain't ever loud." "Nah, you're right. I might have made that last part up." They chuckled together briefly. Aliyah rolled her eyes. "So what's all this then?" He gestured to the table. "Am I supposed to bid on you, or can I just ask you to dinner directly? Doesn't have to be at the club either, unless you want." Aliyah didn't answer a moment. The longer she looked at him, the more she lowered her guard. He was the fourth guy to ask her out that afternoon. Maybe they were starting to wear on her. "You're catching me at a bad time," she said. "This is my busy season. I'm out of work right now, so until I got a job, I'm in work mode." The handsome stranger nodded along, sipping his drink. "Well, you can come by my office. I'm sure I could find something for you." She laughed. The sudden outburst caught her by surprise. It felt flirty. She masked it by putting on another smile. "Yeah, that's not what I meant. In my line of work, we charge by the episode." He heard the rejection in her voice. He knew the tone. He raised his cup in good sport. "Well, if things open up," he said while walking away, "you know where to find me." She smiled for real at the end. She liked when they knew how to leave. Upstairs, a string quartet played. The band switched to a jazzier sound as the auction rolled into its last hour. Aliyah bobbed her head to it. It was a nice distraction. Her feet hurt. She had a meeting with her money managers after the benefit. They scheduled it over dinner. She wanted it beforehand, but was happy to squeeze in a signing instead. She loved scheduling surprise appearances. Her fans kept her trending. Not all venues allowed it, however. She understood. Sometimes her fans came with a little trouble, and damages were expensive. Chapter 2, back to Kelvin's POV. In the back office, Kelvin hurried to print something for Aliyah to sign. His boss only gave him permission a minute ago. It was already 4:05. The mail came late that day. Kelvin couldn't leave until he delivered it. He'd been rushing ever since. The back office was open for the summer. Stacks of spare chairs stood along one wall. A computer and printer sat in the opposite corner. Several people used the room during the day. Office supplies lay scattered across the desk. Sometimes people needed the computer. The last person to use it printed something back to their cubicle. Kelvin forgot to check the settings and sent Aliyah's picture to the same place. He sprinted out of the room once he realized. The picture went to a guy in marketing. His cubicle was on the other end of the office. He sold protein bars as a side hustle. He tried to recruit Kelvin last week. It was an awkward no. The office stretched longer than it was wide. Cubicles ran from end to end in a neat grid. Plants decorated many of the workspaces. People clattered on keyboards, talked on the phone. A few moved around in the aisles. Kelvin dodged one group at an intersection. He cut through another group chatting across their cubicles. They startled. He apologized as he whipped around the corner. The guy who received Aliyah's picture was away from his desk when it was sent. He came in shaking a protein drink and didn't notice the paper in his tray. A gym bag sat on his chair. He pulled it off, then plopped himself down with a sigh. His polo shirt fit snug. The wall beside him was full of pictures, a collage of him and his girlfriend. The trash from lunch still cluttered his desk. He nudged a wrapper aside while reaching for his mouse. A container of hair gel hid among the mess. Kelvin arrived at his cubicle out of breath. The guy looked confused to see him. Their eyes met. Kelvin's darted to the printer. The picture lay face down. They both went for it at the same time. Kelvin grabbed it first, but the guy snatched it from his fingers. The paper almost ripped. "Who is this?" he sang. He swiveled his chair to keep the paper out of reach. Kelvin backed off with a huff. The embarrassment stung. "Come on, man, I'm in a hurry." "I see that." The guy turned the picture sideways and grunted in approval. "But I'm also seeing this, and I gotta know. Who's she?" It wasn't like the picture was R-rated or anything. Kelvin wasn't a fan like that. The shot focused on her dramatic side, which was still a little embarrassing. Aliyah posed in the middle of a busy subway station. The activity was blurred around her. The effect made it appear windy. Her curly hair blew in the breeze. The length was short and playful. It was after her new haircut. She chopped it on a whim. Her agency was not happy about it. "She's an actress," Kelvin said at last. "Her name's Aliyah. Gavins. She's not an A-lister or anything, but she's up there." He put his hand out to gesture for it back. "But why'd you print her?" the guy asked. His tone turned sarcastic as he reclined in his seat. "Were you gonna put her in your locker or something? My girl does collage. You want some pointers?" Kelvin slapped his cubicle wall. The pictures jostled. "Man, why does it matter? I'm trying to catch one of her signings. I want an autograph. That's it." The guy sat up promptly. The neighboring cubicles went quiet. He took one more look at the picture before finally handing it over. He held on to it an extra second when Kelvin grabbed it. The picture snapped taut between them. "Hold on a second," he said. Every moment felt longer. The guy scooted closer to say the next part. He whispered it like it was a secret. "Do you got a thing for black chicks too?" "Just curious." Kelvin gawked, dumbstruck. The guy smirked and nodded to his collage. The picture showed him and his girlfriend on a variety of dates. They were rock climbers, moviegoers, beach bums. They took a lot of selfies, smiling ones, goofy ones. He was bulky in bronze. She was beautiful in black. Kelvin snatched the paper and left without answering. He jogged to make up lost time. The guy called after him with a deal on his protein bars. Kelvin heard none of it. POV switch. Outside the Hotel in Namur, a crowd gathered for Aliyah's signing. Younger fans came with their families. Older kids brought their friends. A few curious shoppers wandered over to see what all the fuss was about. People brandished movie cases or magazines. A couple guys brought the same picture Kelvin printed. One young girl carried a skateboard. Security directed everybody to line up along the sidewalk. A plush velvet rope hung at the curb and ran for the length of the building. People packed in, stretching to the end. Inside, Aliyah's manager and best friend Tiffany waited by the bathrooms. She tapped her fingernails against the door to signal it was time to go. Her nails were acrylic and made a harsh clack sound. She continued working on her phone while she waited. The clack of her nails followed her to her glass screen. She responded to emails, checked schedules. Aliyah had a guest appearance on a radio show in the morning. It started at 4 a.m. That meant an early bedtime tonight. Aliyah and Tiffany had been friends since they were teens. They met on the set of a high school drama a decade ago. Tiffany was a side character. Aliyah was one of the leads. They played enemies on screen and became friends off it. The show only lasted one season, but they never lost contact afterward. Tiffany didn't make it as an actor. She found more success on the runway. She stood at 6 foot by the age of 16 and glided in every pair of heels she wore. It was a talent. She stocked her closets with high-waisted outfits to show off her stride. Although she hadn't modeled in years, she still had the strut. The intensity never left her eyes either. Her high cheekbones gave her a look fit for the catwalk. Makeup artists loved her, hairstylists too. Her hair was always done professionally. She usually sported a high ponytail containing dozens of thick braids. It cost hundreds to style. She went every week. From outside, the sound of the crowd carried into the back lobby. The exit swarmed with fans. They leaned over the rope to try to look inside. Windows lined that side of the building. Many people saw in. The interior of the hotel was massive. Vaulted ceilings loomed over polished marble floors. Hallways stretched long with wide walkways. A fountain stood in the middle. The pitter-patter seemed quiet compared to the commotion outside. Fans peering in asked if anybody could see anything. Nobody could. The bathroom sat around the corner. Aliyah opened the door before Tiffany knocked again. Side by side, their heights staggered. A whole head separated them. The actress only came up to her manager's shoulder. "How's it looking out there?" Aliyah asked. "Good. Marcus just walked the crowd. He says it's tame. Nothing he can't handle." "And the turnout?" Tiffany hesitated. "Smaller, but no gaps. Should be easy to get everyone at least." The two started for the exit right away. Once Aliyah turned the corner, her fans erupted. The security guards braced themselves. One announced her arrival on his walkie-talkie. Phones began snapping pictures. People shouted and waved. The excitement rippled down the line. "You're beautiful!" one of them hollered. Kelvin wasn't there yet. Traffic coming in was bad. A few red lights stopped him. He parked at a meter a couple blocks away. In a quick decision, he took off his work shirt and grabbed his hat. His work pants didn't match his undershirt, but he thought he looked corny in a button-up. He ran like mad the rest of the way. Under his arm, he held a manila folder with Aliyah's picture inside. It was a little crinkled. At the hotel, fans went wild. People held magazines open to her article. They removed sleeves from movie cases. One guy brought a rolled-up poster. Many hollered her name, hoping she'd wave back. The noise echoed through the back lobby. "One more thing," Tiffany said as they exited. She nearly yelled in her client's ear. Marcus is by himself right now. Jamal's bringing the car around to make up some time. You said 10 minutes? You're getting 10 minutes. Chapter 3. Welcome to the blog, y'all. It's Gavin's Gal here, your underground source for everything Aliyah Gavins. I tell you, what is it with this year and axes? I'm still hurting from the one Junior drove in our backs. I can't believe they killed her off on the season premiere. Not gonna lie, I haven't watched an episode since. What's worse, I heard our girl has had 2 projects axed this summer. 2! She only had 2. Ouch. Let's hope she's doing okay. The good news is, if you're a local fan, Lee's been dropping more pop-up signings than ever. I've already hit 3 this month. You gotta be quick though. Our girl moves fast and vanishes even faster. Kelvin raced through the plaza, dodging people left and right. Shoppers crossed in front of him without warning. Friends met and hugged, couples kissed and split ways. He held his folder overhead to squeeze through some groups. A guy walking his dog nearly tangled him in the leash. The hotel in Namur stood at the heart of an upscale shopping district. Name brand outlets lined the streets. Rows of small shrubs decorated the sidewalks. Shoppers carried bags with the same logos on their shirts, shoes, or hats. Window displays came with glamorous mannequins and racks of chic apparel. The storefronts glinted in the sunlight. The air smelled of perfume in the bistro down the block. When Kelvin reached the hotel, he found he only made it by a minute. Fans cluttered the alley. Many hung around to watch her leave. Some remained in line. The velvet rope looked tired. A group of guys huddled at the end. The actress couldn't be seen among them, but her bodyguard towered over everybody. While Aliyah signed, Marcus kept watch over her shoulder. The big man dwarfed his client. His suit coat read quadruple XL. He went without a tie for safety reasons. A pencil-thin beard ran along his jaw. It drew up and over his lip with equal precision. The sides blended into a crisp, low fade. He had big lips, a mean scowl. On good days, he scared fans. Around his client, pens and markers traded hands frequently. Phones took selfies, tablets filmed. Empty hands concerned him the most. Somebody tried to grab her last week. The guy left with a broken wrist. Marcus sized up every new person who got in line. Several arrived late. He spotted Kelvin as he jogged across the alley. The scrawny kid squeezed into the huddle without a problem. His knobby elbows helped make room. He wore a hat that advertised for a shoe company and a t-shirt that promoted snowboarding. Marcus was familiar with the style. His type wasn't uncommon among Aliyah's fans. Once Kelvin was in line, he finally caught his breath. His heart pounded in his head. Sweat dotted his brow. He wedged himself between 2 guys in the wall. They all bumped shoulders trying to fit. His hands trembled taking out her picture. His hair fell in his face. He retucked it in his hat. He told himself to relax, repeating it in a whisper. It's nothing. Just pretend she's Amani. That's it. A nice breeze blew through the area. The shrubs around the building rustled. Aliyah's picture curled at a corner. It was beautiful for mid-May. The guys at the end of the line showered her with praise. They told her their favorite movie. They spilled about her best role. One fan liked her dress. Another fan liked how she filled it. Not all comments were appropriate. Aliyah didn't care. She moved through the line without batting an eyelash. She even fired back. Yeah, it's a tight dress. With a pop, Kelvin uncapped his marker. He paused a moment when he saw the color. He thought he grabbed black. It was blue. The cap was wrong. In her picture, her outfit was blue. The 2 blues clashed. Doesn't matter, he said to himself. He shook his head. His hair fell on his face again. The guys beside him laughed like dopes. He noticed Aliyah was left-handed while she signed for them. He switched hands with everything at the last second. Her bodyguard glanced over because of it. The next breeze whisked her picture away. POV switch. The piece of paper blew around the picture and disappeared. It flew into the shrubs with an audible crinkle. Aliyah saw it happen in the corner of her eye. Kelvin tried to catch it but fumbled and missed. The actress stepped in front of him before he turned back. She cleared her throat to get his attention. He snapped around like she poked him. The look on his face was a twisted mess. He seemed beaten, confused, and starstruck all at once. Should I sign the folder? She asked, cocking her brow funny. The marker drooped in his hand. He soon remembered his hat and ripped it off. He offered her the bill for a place to sign. It wasn't totally clean. The color was nice at least. The gray went well with the blue marker. Aliyah smirked. She gave him an A for effort. She signed using her old autograph. It was fancier and took longer. Her fan held his hat like he was ready to fight her for it. Don't freak, he whispered. She overheard and replied, Oh, I won't. The spit caught in his throat. He chuckled. Her sarcasm was even better in person. For a second, he felt like one of her TV boyfriends. They got her silver tongue the worst. She often dated guys that were kind of dumb. Her best lines always came after they did something stupid. "I don't mean to interrupt the ink," Kelvin said, rapping for her, "but the thing is, you really make it tough to think. It's like the instincts stink. You so much as blink, so much as swing, and I bet you bust my kitchen sink. Yeah, you already struck hard enough to kink." His voice cracked. "What you think?" Aliyah stopped signing halfway through. She never made it to her last name. In her career, male fans were known to flatter, hit on her, or declare their love outright. Nobody ever rapped. She glared at him to mask her surprise. Her actor side told her to smile and brush it off. Her real side spoke instead. "Stick around a minute, yeah?" Kelvin nearly collapsed. His eyes bulged in disbelief. He managed to nod before mumbling, "Absolutely." He thought he said it weird. His inner voice screamed. Neither took their eyes off of the other. She handed back the marker. He grabbed it by the tip. Some ink got on his palm. She liked his eyes. They seemed quiet. Aliyah nudged her bodyguard after. Marcus was watching the crowd when she elbowed him. He flinched less than her punching bag. "Change of plans," she said in his ear. "Take this last guy around back. I want to talk to him a minute." "Who? Paperboy?" She snickered. "Yeah. Tiff and Jamal can walk me back themselves. We'll meet you with the car." "You got it." They bumped fists discreetly. Marcus stayed close to signal their team. The other two members stood by the door. Tiffany did not look happy. It was no secret Aliyah Gavins liked hip-hop. Her circle of friends overlapped with a few people in the industry. She loved going to concerts and mingling with the artists. The paparazzi caught her with a rapper once. Rumor had it they dated. She acted in his music video. Fans thought they hooked up. Last year, she started hanging out with a rapper Kelvin already knew. He called it a sign. Aliyah posted a short video with her music in the background. The song went viral among her fans. The two were friends days later. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed reading it more than I thought I would, so that's fun. Maybe I'll do that with every chapter. Again, the rest of my author platform is linked below. If you like this, if you like the story, please subscribe and follow, like, or comment. All of it, if you feel so inclined, I would appreciate anything. Thank you for watching. I am super excited to start this, and I hope you are too. Thank you. All right, I think one of those will work. I can edit it too. Here we go. Come on, man, get this Aliyah's voice. Here we go again. Really? My papers weren't in the right order. Well, let's try that again. I'm gonna need water soon. Actress. I'm gonna need water now. Pay attention to the words. Gotta read it. That's the hard part. Reading is hard. They bumped the fists discreetly. Let's try that again. They bumped the fists discreetly. That's hard to say. I'm almost done, guys. We're getting there. This is fun. I ain't gonna lie. This is fun. All right. I like my own work. Whatever. All right, here we go.